these people were able to maneuver around and pass each other.
If you're a race fan, it kept you interested.
And I thought it was a pretty good race overall.
It was hard to pick out the best car, Richard. I thought, when they qualified, there was 7 Fords and 3 Chevrolets in the top 10, and
I really didn't pay that much attention to him. He was always right there, but never racing for the front. Joey's really good when it comes down to the chips at the end of a race. If he's close, he's going to get there, baby.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try it again, right?
Yeah, we both stayed at home this weekend for the Super Speedway Short Track Atlanta, ever what you want to call it.
To me, it was great. To me, it was, like you say, a cross between a short track or a regular racetrack where people race and a little bit of drafting going on. So, to me, it's so much more interesting to me to watch than Talladega or Daytona, because it wasn't a deal where one line goes, another line goes. These people were able to maneuver around and pass each other, and, then they race from that standpoint. So, but you get a lot of times you had the leader out front, and then the next 2 guys get side by side, and they just run and run and run. And then at one time through there, when the 23 and somebody else got out front, and 54, they didn't stop for gas. So everybody behind them knew that they were going to have to stop and get gas, so they didn't race with them. They said, okay, everybody was basic saving gas. We're just going to run back here because we know them 2 guys is going to have to make a pit stop. So, and that changed the race.
There was a lot of figuring going on, but what caused that caution hadn't been seen much either,
A flag falling down.
Yeah, advertisement banner falling down. But it was hard to pick out the best car, Richard, I thought. When they qualified, there was 7 Fords and 3 Chevrolets in the top 10. And
I think the Fords were the quickest cars.
Well, they had the quickest car.
Yeah.
Or up until 57 laps. I think the 5 car tried to lead with the Chevrolet, and I don't believe he ever could.
He raced with them. He was trying to get up there. But the Fords were just a little bit better than he was.
Just had a little bit more speed, looked like. And
what happened to his car? What happened? Did you ever figure out how come?
I thought at first glance, I thought it was the right front tire, and then it looked like something failed on the right rear, and it went down. When it settled down.
It's hard to say.
And
man, that thing made a quick right hand
But
turn.
I just talking to Kyle a while ago. He thinks that it just took off and he couldn't catch it.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
But he hit hard, and then it took two championship containers out early.
I think 13 out of the 16 that was running had some kind of trouble. They got hit in the door.
Yeah.
Hit bad pit stops or something.
But if you're a race fan, it kept you interested.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good race overall.
Didn't nobody get out front and dominated or anything? It was
they was out front, and I guess they was dominating. But the guys in the back there was racing like a son of a gun for 20th place or 15th place. So
they always race back in there on this type racetrack.
That's the hardest part.
But there's more wrecks yesterday on pit road than there was on the racetrack till the last lap.
Yeah, I told them pit road, and I don't know what they can do to settle that down, because everybody is trying to pick up that 10th of a second in the pits. And
somebody getting gas only in 2 tires, 4 tires.
And they had a fire.
Some of them filling up.
One car had caught on fire one time.
At one time years ago, Richard, didn't we try odd and even?
Yeah, odd and even number of cars, but that was just a screw-up deal.
Yeah, I know.
And that didn't work at all.
I just, I ain't got no answers for it, but it's.
Yeah,
when they have these cautions.
The only answer, well, not maybe the only answer, but the answer is everybody stop at the same time and they go back out on the racetrack at the same, in the same position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, if it takes 30 seconds to make a pit stop, don't make any difference. You get back in your position. That way they wouldn't be racing on pit road.
But
I don't like that either.
well, of course, we was pulling for the 42 and the 43, and the 43 wrecked on pit road, and it didn't show it, But I was talking to Joey, the car chief, and he said they hit the 4 car somehow leaving and messed up the right front fender, and I think they got it fixed back pretty good, but they lost all track position at late in time.
When the race first started, the 43 started way back there in the back, and I think within 40 or 50 laps, he worked his way up to 8th or 10th or somewhere, and then they made pit stops. He started back there in the back.
Yeah.
He got back up there again, and then about 2/3 of the way through that run, he started fading and wound up 20th, I think. So I don't know what their problem was.
The groove he was using to get up front, when he got way in the back, he couldn't use it much anymore because everybody had
started
more
going.
lanes.
Yeah.
And
what happened, they was running 2 abreast and left him left my line for him.
where he was going bogged up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They looked like compared to Darlington, the crowd was pretty much off. But it was. But Darlington was a good race too, and this.
But this, I think, was, like you say, a cross between a regular racetrack, a 1.5-mile track, and a super speedway like Daytona and Talladega. So you got a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
I think more so than what we usually.
Well, it was a little bit interested when they showed Chase Elliott's feet too.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And
whether he got on the brake or got off the gas to slow the car down.
Yeah,
because they was running all but wide open. I mean, even after they and the tires didn't really make that much difference.
It didn't.
New tires, old tires. So I like that part of it, because you can either stay out, you can start gambling, 2 tires, no tires. I like that part of it.
Qualifying,
well, they didn't get to practice or nothing. You just go cold turkey.
Golly,
and the Fords were the quickest, as far as just coming off the truck.
But that when you talk to the drivers, of course, we used to go down and practice, a couple of days probably before we qualified and everything. But they don't seem to mind it. But I think what happens, they say, if I don't do this, I'll have to go to work, and I don't want to do that. So I think that's
maybe
the
that's
reason
what
they do
it. Forced into it, right? But the 22 wound up winning the race, and he really, me watching the race and stuff, I really didn't pay that much attention to him. He was always right there, but never racing for the front. But they took advantage of what everybody else done, and Joey's really good when it comes down to the chips at the end of a race. If he's close, he's going to get there, buddy.
Yeah, he was real good in his interview, because he give his teammate, the 12 car, a lot of credit.
Yeah, he give him that push and then backed off and let him go.
Yep, and it got him out there, and another probably half a lap would have changed it, but it was over before that.
Well, yeah, but the 12 car, if they hadn't had that last caution, 12 car would have run second.
Yeah.
The way it was, they throwed the caution, and what was it, 99? 99 was still in front of him at that time.
But there you go, using that F word again.
That's the way it is, buddy.
Yep. So we're going to Watkins Glen Sunday, and if it rains, they'll still try to run it.
Oh, they have them rain tires.
That
ought to be interesting. The one thing about this first segment is you're running a super speedway at Atlanta, you're running a road course, and then you're running a short track. So you're going to get that's what NASCAR is about, and that's what the championship's about. Those particular is somebody good in all 3 of those circumstances.
But the so-called road racers that stand out real big now, a lot of them's caught up to them now. So so the short trackers are going to race the road racers now.
Yeah.
So
it gets better.
It be sure and tune in, because it should be interesting.
We'll be there. That's a good question. I don't know that the championship should be one race. I think the championship should be 2 or 3 races, again, and have 3 different kinds of racetracks involved. The way it is, we're going to go to Phoenix, I guess. You know what I mean? And if you just happen to like that kind of track or something, then you got a chance to win a championship. But if you're a road racer, then you're not going to do too good on that. It's more of a cross between a short track and a super speedway. So, it's really hard to say. I wouldn't right now. Wouldn't have any choice.
The way everything went at Darlington with the crowd looked like that'd be a good place to have the last race and the championship decided there.
They were all traded off so they could buy the next year's car. And we got one here in the museum that's a carbon copy of what he won the 59 Daytona. But as far as having any of his cars, like I said, quick as the season was over, we had to sell that car to have enough money to buy a car for the next season.
Some of them was made back into family cars. And Richard drove some of them, and his mother drove some of them, so especially the ones that run on the beach.
The way they got it is probably as safe a way of doing it as anything. If they wreck on the last lap, they automatically throw the caution flag. So wherever you're at the time, even though somebody does beat you back to the flag, you're still ahead of them. So I think that's the safest way to do it.
Back in the day, we did race back to the flag. And, of course, they didn't have the technology to tell where every car was at. So technology has changed racing a lot, as everybody knows.